Floki had a nice bath yesterday because he's got some patches on his skin. He does tend to dip his elbows in when he drinks his juice as well. So his skin is a bit irritated and he has got some patches there that we want to clear up. Floki had his bath yesterday, but he's got some nice juice this morning, and as you can see he stuck his elbows in it. So we might have to try him on a smaller dish to keep him a bit cleaner. One of our bandits, Sheldon, about to get released after he's been recovering from a mating season wound. He's away running towards the village. He's gone.
Here we have little Ulka getting on very well in the trees, very independent, climbing around, chewing leaves and finding little insects, really doing well. So really become part of this troop, part of the SARV troop, and doing very well. And of course we've got Dora. She's busy foraging on the ground, not sure what she's looking for, but she seems to have found something interesting. But as you can see, they're like really part of the whole family now. Not a worry, they're just doing their own little thing, jumping around, climbing trees, foraging just like normal little monkeys. So it's really nice to see their progress, especially when you see what they were like when they came in and how they change and they sort of join the rest of the monkeys and become part of the family. It's just quite fantastic, and they're foraging with the older ones and nobody seems to mind them or anything like that. It's just completely part of the troop now.
Today we're releasing Nino into the Jalamango enclosure for the first time. We're also trying to set it up for a live stream, which is interesting because Mango keeps getting in the way of the camera that Hadrian is filming. So we've got our team around the edge to make sure for the safety checks. And there's Mango investigating the camera.
I think it's fine.
Then we've got Jason, our integration staff, leading the integration, and he's going to be on the door to let Nino out. We're not sure if he's going to go out straight away or if it's going to take a few hours, so we'll wait and see and find out. Z's just left and Nino is in the cage alone. Nino's free to go whenever he wants. The door is open. We're going to try and keep Mango out to begin with because he will sit in the cage the whole day and Nino needs his little safe space to be able to come in if he needs to. So Wild Trooper just turned up. Satchmo's just come in with Nino now. Z's also in with Nino playing now and keeping the bandits away. Because we've got the Wild Troop down with us today. And Z's not a fan of the Wild Troop, as you can see. It's mating season, so the males are all on tender hooks. There's quite a lot of tension between the males this time of year.
That's Mango, of course, objecting to the bandits being so close to the introduction. I suppose he is being a little bit protective, but yeah, he's just showing his ground. Z just grooming little Nino there. Looks like he's sort of enjoying it. He's sort of stuck, not going anywhere. She's also aware of the bandits around at the moment, but these two are getting on quite nicely. Well, it certainly does look like Z's got more of an attachment to little Nino than what she did with Satchmo. Satchmo seemed to be drawn more to Mango last time we did the integration with them, which is kind of funny. So this time it seems like Z sort of stepped in. I don't know what's attracted her to this little guy, but she seems to like him a lot more and seems to hang around him a lot more than what she did with Satchmo. And of course I think that's why Satchmo drew more to Mango and seems to play a lot more with Mango.
Z's just left to chase some of the bandits away. Nino still has a chance to go outside, but he's still in.
Z is like a typical mother, probably pulled little Nino over and said, "You're not going anywhere until you sort yourself out. Let's just make sure you've got everything nice and clean. How can I let you out of this cage if you're looking like a scallywag?" So of course she's doing the one over to make sure he's looking neat and tidy before he meets everyone else.
So Nino's not going anywhere, he's taking a nap with Z. Right on top of the feeding cage. But it's good because if he takes a nap it means he feels comfortable and safe. Because he doesn't have to be looking out for predators or any danger. He's just quite content taking a nap with female Z.
Just look at that happy little face. It looks like he's got a smile on his face there. He's just so glad he's got a beautiful mother. He doesn't know so much about his father, but he's having a lot of fun. So I think this is one happy little monkey. You can just see it in his whole posture. He's like so relaxed, so happy he's got a new family. And this is just going to go down well. I think Z also really likes him a lot. Sleeping with him here, it just shows how much he also cares.
Z and Satchmo fighting with Bandit Sheldon. Sheldon, of course, has just been released from sick bay after he had to have one of his testicles removed, getting into a big fight. So this is the welcome he got. Dobby! And Carla?
Here we have adult female Jolie. She was born in 2017. She arrived as an orphan, found on the side of the road, and she was fostered by Luca. Carla arrived at the same time as Jolie, was also fostered by Luca. So both of them are like kind of sisters and know each other well. And now they're looking after little Hercules. Hercules, you can see how well that little injury, remember his little shoulder there? He broke that little shoulder bone, so it's healed quite well. He's now using his arm. There we have Ulysses. So this is like a little family group now. They're hanging around together and of course doing very, very well in the enclosure.
Nino tried to catch an ant. Did he get it?
No.
No.
Well, now you can see that samango monkey tails are very, very important in balance, especially when they're trying to walk along branches and things like this. The tail is essential. I think this is a case of get your bum out of my food, but little Nino's actually not listening. What do you mean I haven't got my bum in your food? Uh, these two are getting on so well. This is quite unbelievable. They do have a lot of fun together, and I think it's going to be nice eventually seeing both of them playing outside in the troop and chasing each other around. I think it's good for Satchmo as well. He's needed a little friend, and this is going to do him the world of good.
This is Mango. He is coming by and saying hello to Satchmo, Nino, and Z, who are currently inside of the intro cage. We want to let Nino out, but so far he hasn't shown any interest in going to the door. So we're just waiting and giving him some time. Meanwhile, Mango needs to stay outside because he's quite big and he can do quite a bit of damage to the intro cage and possibly to Nino. Nino is there. Z is coming over. And
Who said you can
Satchmo's
film me?
there.
Nino's right at the door. Pretty hard to see, there's a lot of grass in the way. But he's thinking about we do have Satchmo and Mango just here. Hey Mango. And C's over by the door. He's still in the door, contemplating whether to leave or not. There he is, taking his first few steps. You can see he is just there.
Well, it's nice in this case that little Nino chose Z and ran over to her for comfort and security. I'm not sure if everybody remembers Satchmo's release. He sort of went straight to Mango and predominantly spent his time with Mango. So I think this time it's nice. Z's also now got her little charge that she can look after, and I'm sure she's feeling very proud about having him around. A good sign he has a dog barking and he goes to safety to the enclosure. So a little bit of the playtime and fun begins, and I think this is just going to be the start with these two. Mom's going to have her hands full.
C's ran back inside the intro cage, but Nino stayed. No. He's followed.
So here we have Satchmo and Mango. Satchmo's definitely daddy's boy, and he brought a lot of life to the party, and these two also have extreme fun. So it's going to be quite amazing to see what happens if Nino's going to join them eventually, and poor Mango is going to really have his hands full because little Satchmo, there's no giving up. It's so cool to watch this and see how these little guys play and how gentle they actually are, because I mean the males have got quite big teeth and can give a nasty bite, but they control everything, they have a good time, and they just know how far to go with each other.
In answer to your question, we do have Z as well. He's an adult female, but there's not many in this enclosure, so we only have 4. So Nina's the 4th one to join because we don't have many samangos come in. We are building a tree. Thanks, Anna.
really and truly a very handsome monkey. This Mango's a very great specimen, and I think he's made a fantastic dad. He's really looked after this little guy and brought him out from where he was and given him a totally new life.
Aggressive and they're not ideal to keep in the house, of course, because they belong in the wild. So we do have experts come in that are more difficult to integrate when they're older, but we do manage it. It's much better if people do find a samango or vervet monkey, they can get it to us as soon as they can. It does help their rehabilitation process, and so they don't get too attached to the people that have been caring for them. They do kind of get their inherent fear of people back when they're with a troop. Then they do tend to actually be scared of us, even though we've been human carers, if they're below 3 months of age. These are having great fun. This is all play behaviour. Sometimes they can play quite rough, the samangos, especially Monday. Sorry guys, we're trying to get some close-ups for you without the FaceTime. Do bear with us, our technical person isn't here right now, so it's me trying to film them for you so you can at least see some action.
So hi everyone, so we got a call from this PCA. So we got a young monkey get injured and he comes from Mahuba's roof. So we're going to fetch him and see what's happening with this little guy. Alright, so I just got the little guy from the SPCA. He's got a lot of energy and he's quite big, but I can't see any kind of visible injury for now. But yeah, let's see what the meds team is saying. See you at the foundation.
Hi, Mark.
Oh, hot. So we just got a guy from the SPCA. So apparently he got like hit by a car by Mahuba's roof. So the guy bring it. For the what I know, it like he doesn't got any physical, I mean visible things at least.
Yeah.
He had a bit like he's quite big. He had a bit of blood apparently on the mouth, but not it.
It's like a 2-year-old.
Yeah, he's a pretty strong guy. Trust me. But I have to move it inside in. So,
Okay. Yeah, they said he'd woken up. They said they were going to release him. Said they were going to release him to a nearby trip.
I mean, he's yeah. You will see. Have fun with him.
Thank you very much. Yeah, he looks like he's 2-year-old. Is that a male?
Yeah, it's a male. I mean, I think.
I'll find out. Alright, man. Thanks. So it looks like a 2-year-old female, maybe 3-year-old. So she looks like she's recovered from whatever happened, but concussion can last for quite a while, so we'll keep her and assess her over 3 or 4 days, and then see whether we can take her back to her trip if all's good.
Nino's been out quite a lot this afternoon. Been playing with Satchmo, eaten from the food pile as well. And also Z gave him a hug, so that's good progress for the first day. Since this morning he didn't want to go out, but later on today he has been in and out, which is good. Nino's also still drinking very well from the feeding cage, just gone in to drink his bottle. And he's still going in and out with Satchmo. So it's the end of the day. Z's giving Nino a nice groom. She has hugged him a few times today, and he's had lots of fun out in the enclosure. And he's going to be on night shift overnight tonight, because he hasn't really gone out in the trees yet to sleep. And then we'll bring him back tomorrow, unless by miracle he ends up at the last hour deciding to stay in the trees, then he'll come on night shift.
Well, the day begins at Disneyland with Leela and Leila coming down from the night shift duty. They're going to come and catch a little bit of sunlight just to warm themselves up from the evening. Lila's there in the background. She's completely blind. Leela is climbing up the side of the enclosure. We think Leela can see a little bit of shadow and stuff. She was the lowest ranking in Calypso and wasn't doing so well there, so we've decided to move her up here with Floki and Leila and see how things get on. And then these three are going to be put in a special section in Calypso's corner together as soon as they're getting on a lot better. Leela making her way over to the feeding cage, probably just to go and see if her food's there yet or if some food's come in. So she's got the hang of it, knows how to pop in there very, very easily, find her bowl of milk and just get a little bit of sustenance. So she's doing pretty well. Leila, on the other hand, takes a little bit of while. She doesn't really know where everything is, but it is quite remarkable how she can jump up and over things. You wouldn't really say she's blind, but you can see how her little hands move in the front of her like they're always feeling. And here she's feeding the feeding cage inside. Really remarkable for an animal that can't see at all. and she's made her way right across there, climbed through the little hole and managing to find some milk. Of course, Floki is not allowed to have that milk, so he's sitting here probably being a little bit grumpy. But as they're all warming up, you can see they're starting to play, enjoying the sun. They've all been sleeping the whole night, so there's a lot of energy now. So they're starting their day chasing each other and jumping around in the little warm rays that they're able to get. A nice little group, very tolerant of each other, and I think they're going to do very well together down in Calypso's corner. It's no like real fighting or anything like that. So it's so nice just to see these three like playing around and just getting on so well, and basically getting that second chance, because normally this would never happen because they're blind. They could never survive out in the wild, and most places wouldn't really take them. But it's always good to give them a chance. It was never their fault. This was some accident that was inflicted on them by humans, and they just need to get a chance to live out their little lives and have a little bit of freedom, or feel a bit of freedom.
Totsi again has had a few visits to the global intro cage, but it's been hard for us to find the time. So our wire is stuck. And now we have a plate hole to put in the bowl so we can see if she's going to drink. Here's Django, who's super obsessed with her. As you can see, she's gone straight to the fence. One of our females, Kofi, has just arrived and has scared Totsi, the tiny angel. We have Eliza in James' troop also watching. We have Pascal Martini just over there. Pascal's vocalizing to Totsi. The interest is slowly building. We have Pascal just over there, behind little G. There he comes. Of this female Rani. When she comes, everyone starts redirecting at Totsi the tiny angel. So she's smart keeping her distance. Here we have Pascal. Here we have Abby, orphan from a few years ago. And just behind is little G eating the corn. Here he comes. So he was one of our orphans from the last baby season. He was found alone on a farm. He had some head injuries when he arrived. So this is Totsi's first time drinking from the feeding cage. So we did have to get the feeding cage set up with a nice little platform and a plate hold to put our bowl in. And she's drinking like an absolute star. And it can't really be seen through the chicken wire. I mean, there's Tony, but Pascal's inside the other feeding cage having a drink. Tony's now on top of it. And as you can see, Totsi has caused a lot of interest in the troop. Got Little G, Abby, Martini, Tasha, then the two boys in the feeding cage, and Megan on top. She's having a nice big drink, which is perfect. That's what we want. So she's drinking okay. We can get her a mum as soon as possible. It's clear there's a lot of interest from the young females, which will be perfect because it'll be perfect training for them for next year. Because obviously Totsi is that much bigger. And of course her name's the Tiny Angel, but she's not so tiny. But she'll be a lot less work for the younger females so that they can have some training and prepare for a lot smaller younger babies. And she's desperate. She wants to grab all the food. Here we have Appy's just come, Tony's foster mum. And she has a lot of interest in Totsi the Tiny Angel. So on the other side of the fence we have Little G, Abby and Appy. Abby's just walked away. And here's Martini coming. And again, back into drink. And there's a little man, Tony.
So day 2 of Nino going out into the samango enclosure. So we've got the cage just is left open now, the door. Mango spent a lot of time in here, and Satchmo and Z. When Nino's gone out this morning for a few steps, then Satchmo's actually been chasing him back in, keeping him kind of in his place. So we hope that Nino will be able to go out for longer as the day goes on. He's not getting fed inside today, he's just having all of his food outside. You can see he's just gone out now. Looks a little bit nervous. So it's morning feeding time. Lucky's just going in to feed the monkeys. And Nino needs to eat his food outside today. At least that's the plan.
Looks like little Nino's all ready for his food, but then gets frightened by Lucky and of course finds the safety of his enclosure, which in a way is a good thing. He's also got to get used to some of our staff members going into the enclosure and shouldn't get too close to them, so it's a nice learning curve. But the important part is now is he going to come back out of the cage or the intra cage and come out to the enclosure to find his food, because that's where he should be eating.
So Mango's out eating and Z. And this is where Nino gets to learn about the hierarchy and respecting his elders. So he's waiting in the cage.
Well, he is behaving relatively well, besides pulling faces at the camera. But as Joe was saying earlier on, there is a hierarchy, so it isn't good for him to just rush out and go and grab the food. He does have to wait his turn, which it seems like he's doing. There's popping out now. We'll see if he's going to go and help himself. He is taking food from the fringes of what's going on, so yeah, he has learnt a little bit of manners, but we'll see how things go later on. I think he's going to be told off for taking a millie cob, but yeah, I think he's got it and he's not going to let it go. Well, monkey life is certainly learning about what you can do when, and so Nino is going to slowly learn the right protocols. So he hasn't been chastised too badly. He's outside, but he's not going for any more food. He's sort of eating the leaves and stuff like that. And so he'll take his time again. But of course, being a naughty little mischievous guy, I'm sure he's going to get up to enough mischief and fit in rather well. So it just takes a little bit of time to them to get used to everybody, used to what he can eat, when he can eat, and then of course he should fit right in. But it does look like he's got a little bit there to chew, so it's not that he's going to starve, so it seems like it's going well. Nino drinking water like a big boy, so yeah, at least he knows how to use the water bottle as well, which is also very important for him. So yeah, he's growing in leaps and bounds. What a handsome young man. Mango there eating a bit of butternut. Really good looking monkey, and very, very healthy. So yeah, he's also got a very nice personality, puts up with a lot, especially from Sachimo. As you can see here, Sachimo thinks his tail is something to climb on, but he doesn't seem to care at all. So really good with the little ones. Fantastic guardian, and a good little male to look after these guys. Nino finally finding little bits here and there to eat. Looks like he's got a nice bit of butternut that he's chewing on. Looking around to see what else he can scrounge for, but yeah, there should be a lot of little scraps and things that he can pick up along the way. So this is a good thing. He shouldn't get into trouble now because everyone else has eaten. There you can see him by the food pile just by the gate. I think that's Sachimo with him. Basically now they're sharing food. So that's also a very good sign. So once everyone's eaten the nice pieces, it's no problem. Mango comes out, everyone a little bit wary of him. But of course you can see his tolerance level. He really does like these guys. So I don't think he's ever going to do anything. Little Nino back into the cage, followed by Sachimo. So yes, they're getting used to going in and out, which is great. These two I think are going to be great friends. It's just nice to see how they're going on, eating together, even though there is a little bit of fighting in the beginning just to make sure that Nino doesn't get all the juicy pieces first, because you know what little kids are like, they always want to take the sweets before they eat their food, and that's normally what happens, and then they get put in their place. Well, tails can be used for other things, like when mom's just trying to give you a friendly reminder about something. So there she was just giving Satchimo's tail a little bit of a hug and saying, hey, just behave yourself. So Leila and Floki having a little bit of a rough and tumble. And just to remember that Leila is blind, so she can't actually see where he's coming from or what he's going to be doing next. So it is quite remarkable how they actually play together and things like this, and chase each other around the enclosure. So it's also sometimes nice to just sit there and watch how these two have a little bit of fun. Floki does seem to be taking the brunt of the punishment, although it doesn't look like it here. We are keeping an eye on him lately, because he does seem to have got one or two little bruises from these little ones. But then I'm not too sure if he's just being too pushy, because as you can see he is kind of boisterous, so it might just be them putting him back in his place. But we're just observing him at the moment just to see how things are going there. So a little bit of a close-up of Leila, just to see how she struggles a bit to find where things are. It's very difficult to say whether they can see light or dark or shadows and things like this. I suppose it is possible. Sometimes the intensity of the sun and things like this can play a difference. But she's really got to feel around and sniff around where she's going to make sure she's going in the right direction. Well, yeah, we have Totsi, the tiny angel, and of course Leila, sitting there eating some food and everything like this, and just watching what's going on around them or around the enclosure, probably wondering where their bandit friends are. Yeah, so these two are also getting on fairly well at the moment. I'm not too sure what Totsi's outcome is, which enclosure she's going to go to yet, so they'll still be thinking about that and seeing what the next move will be there. Well, can you believe Jason spent 48 hours in one of those? Well, yes, Bussy, you always wonder how we get monkeys from one cage to another. This is quite a unique little procedure. Basically getting a nice cage with a bit of sun outside so they can get a little bit more movement and a bit more exercise. So they're creating a little artificial tunnel for Bussy here, covering it up at the top, and then what happens is they're opening the intra-cage door, which will open into this crush cage, and then they'll pull up the divider in the middle, and basically then Bussy can move through to the other side without any problems or causing any problems for anyone else, into the other enclosure, which hopefully should go smoothly. Except sometimes the monkeys, I think, know what we're doing, and they just hang around longer than they should, just saying, yeah, I know you want me to go in there, but not now. So they know exactly what you want them to do. But there we go, into the other side, relatively easy without any problems, and we just close up all the doors and they're safe on the other side.
Our new rescue girl has just got an upgrade. She's quite nervous, probably feeling very exposed being in the bigger cage. Hey girl! You can see just behind we've got Bowser in his crush cage. And other neighbours.
Well, we come to the end of another episode. Thank you everybody for your support and watching us and sharing the channel. We're slowly climbing with our subscribers, which is great. Please encourage your friends or anybody you know that really loves monkeys, that wants to see what is going on, and sharing the lives of these wonderful little animals, and seeing how they get a second chance in life, because that's really what it's all about. We're seeing how we can give these guys another chance, get them back out there with their own kind, so they can live a relative free life where they are protected and safe from everybody. So thank you for watching. Please do watch our live. We start at South African time, normally about 7:30 on a Saturday and Sunday morning. So we'll see you then. Thanks for all our people donating via PayPal. It's really made a difference. I can honestly say you're the guys that have helped us get through this last year. Without you, I don't know what we would have done. So thank you everyone. We appreciate you. See you next week.